Now, first of all, one handles a fan very deliberately. It's a tremendous tool of communication. That's it. You can say things like, I'm feeling flirtatious. Come hither.
When Disney first dropped The Princess Diaries back in 2001, nobody could have guessed it would still be such a cultural staple more than 2 decades later. Anne Hathaway's turn as Mia Thermopolis, the awkward teen who discovers she's the heir to a European throne, launched her into stardom and gave audiences a story that was equal parts fairy tale and relatable coming-of-age drama. The sequel, The Princess Diaries 2: Royal Engagement 2004, added Chris Pine into the mix as Lord Nicholas Devereux, a charming rival turned love interest. His role ended up being a big deal, not only because it set the stage for Mia's love life, but also because it was Pine's very first feature film. Fast forward to today, and fans are still clamoring for The Princess Diaries 3, and they want Pine back. The excitement around the third movie grew after Anne Hathaway officially confirmed her return, with Adele Lim, Crazy Rich Asians' Joyride set to direct. But as much as people were thrilled by Hathaway's involvement, the lingering question has been, what about Chris Pine? After all, Nicholas wasn't just a side character, he became central to Mia's story. So when Pine was asked about it on Today with Hoda and Jenna, his response set fans buzzing. He laughed it off and said, "I don't know anything, call Disney. Honestly, I don't know anything about it, I think it's fantastic." That short answer managed to do 2 things at once. It confirmed he hasn't been approached yet, but it also showed he's definitely not opposed. Pine didn't shut the door. Instead, he playfully tossed the responsibility back at Disney. When Hoda Kotb and Jenna Bush Hager shared a bunch of social media posts demanding Nicholas's return, Pine smiled. It was clear he knows just how badly fans want him back. This leaves The Princess Diaries 3 in an interesting spot. Even though Pine isn't officially part of the cast yet, the movie is still in early development. Adele Lim was only recently confirmed as director, and the rest of the cast beyond Hathaway hasn't been locked in. That actually works in Pine's favor because there's still plenty of room to bring him back. Considering Nicholas is a prominent member of Genovian society, it would make sense for him to remain in Mia's life. Whether as her partner, her husband, or even just a close ally, his presence would be easier to explain than the return of characters who had no real ties to Genovia. And here's the thing, The Princess Diaries 2 ended with Mia's coronation and the implication that Nicholas would stand by her side. If The Princess Diaries 3 suddenly acted like he didn't exist, it would leave a huge hole in the story. So even if Mia and Nicholas aren't still together, the movie will need to address it. Audiences won't buy into the idea that he just vanished without an explanation. That's why fans keep pushing for Pine's return, because Nicholas represents a piece of Mia's life that feels too important to leave hanging. What makes this situation even more appealing is how Pine's career has exploded since his Princess Diaries debut. He went from playing a Genovian lord to becoming a household name thanks to Star Trek, Wonder Woman, and a bunch of other major projects. Bringing him back now would feel like a full circle moment, not just for him, but for audiences who watched his career take off from that first role. It would also give The Princess Diaries 3 the kind of star power Disney loves to lean on. Hathaway's return is already huge, but pairing her with Pine again could turn the sequel into an event film. But Pine isn't the only familiar face fans hope to see. John Rhys Davies, who played Viscount Mabry in The Princess Diaries 2, has also expressed his interest in coming back. His character was the scheming politician who tried to use Nicholas to take over the throne, only for his plans to fall apart in spectacular fashion. Even though Mabry was disgraced, the sequel never fully closed the door on him. Rhys Davies himself has said he thinks the character could return in a bigger role, this time as Genovia's prime minister, and he even admitted he'd love to work with Pine again, recalling fond memories from their time on set. So if Pine returns as Nicholas, it wouldn't be far-fetched for Mabry to re-enter the story as well, perhaps as a political rival trying to undermine Mia's reign. That kind of conflict could be a great way to balance the personal and political storylines, especially now that Mia is queen. Audiences want to see her succeed, but they also know challenges are part of ruling, and bringing back recognizable faces from her past would make those struggles feel even more meaningful. Still, The Princess Diaries 3 isn't just about nostalgia. It has to strike the right balance between honoring the old films and giving fans something new. Hathaway herself has hinted that Mia's story will continue to evolve, and some speculate the focus might eventually shift to a new character, possibly a younger generation stepping into the princess role. That doesn't mean we won't see familiar faces, but it does suggest that the movie can't rely only on revisiting the past. Instead, it needs to show Mia in her new role as queen, grappling with the responsibilities and relationships in a way that reflects both her growth and the expectations of modern audiences. And while Nicholas's return would thrill fans, there's another part of Mia's past that deserves attention: her friendship with Lily. This is where things get complicated, because even though Lily was supposed to be Mia's best friend, she often acted more like a critic than a cheerleader. She dismissed Mia's grief over her father, mocked her makeover, and rarely offered the kind of unconditional support a true friend should give. Although they made up by the end of the first movie, the films never really addressed Lily's toxic tendencies. If the Princess Diaries 3 brings her back, as Heather Matarazzo has said she'd be open to doing, then the sequel has a golden opportunity to explore that friendship in a more honest way. Because Mia's story has always been about growing into her role, and part of that growth means confronting uncomfortable truths. Lily wasn't the obvious villain like Lana or Mabry, but her cutting remarks sometimes hurt even more. For the new film to resonate, it should show how Mia navigates that history. Does she forgive Lily completely? Does she set boundaries, or do they finally have the conversation they should have had years ago? Exploring that would add layers to both characters and show how friendships evolve over time. Of course, Disney also has to consider timing. The last movie came out in 2004, and for years, fans wondered if a third would ever happen. When Freakier Friday recently proved that early 2000s legacy sequels can still draw audiences, it gave Disney the push it needed. The original Princess Diaries made $165 million worldwide, which is slightly more than Freaky Friday did, so the financial potential is definitely there. Add in the nostalgia factor, Hathaway's star power, and Pine's current popularity, and it's not hard to see why Disney would be smart to go all in on the sequel. Still, the key lies in execution. Fans want Mia's story to feel complete, and they don't want loose ends ignored. That's why Pine's playful "Call Disney" comment resonated so much. It showed he's aware of the demand and left the ball squarely in the studio's court. Disney now has the chance to reunite the original cast, bring closure to long-standing storylines, and introduce new characters who can carry the franchise into the future. So while nothing is official yet, the possibility of Chris Pine returning as Nicholas is very real. The timing is perfect, the fan support is overwhelming, and the narrative logic is hard to ignore. Mia's journey wouldn't feel the same without Nicholas by her side, or at least without some acknowledgement of what happened to him. And with other actors like Rhys Davies and Matarazzo expressing their interest too, the stage is set for a reunion that could delight both longtime fans and new audiences. In the end, The Princess Diaries 3 isn't just about bringing back familiar faces, it's about honoring the story that began in 2001, showing how far Mia has come, and giving her the kind of growth and challenges that make sense for a queen in today's world. But if Disney really wants the magic back, they'll need to make the call, and hopefully Chris Pine will be on the other end, ready to step back into Nicholas's shoes after all these years. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.